Welcome to Night Ember, where we ignite your spirit when the world feels dark. I found the mirror at an estate sale. Its gilded frame, tarnished with time, called to me. The seller, a frail old woman with hollow eyes, warned me against buying it. "This mirror, it keeps secrets," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the cold autumn wind. I should have listened. That night, as I positioned the mirror in my bedroom, something felt off. My reflection lingered a moment too long when I turned away. A trick of the light, I told myself. Nothing more. But as I slept, the nightmares began. I awoke gasping, drenched in sweat. My head pounded, my heart raced. In the mirror's glass, I saw not my bedroom, but a dimly lit corridor. A woman walked ahead of me, unaware of my presence. My hands weren't my own. They were larger, rougher, gripping something cold and sharp. I tried to scream, to move, but I was trapped inside the vision. I watched in horror as the hands lifted the blade and drove it into the woman's back. She collapsed, her terrified eyes locking onto the mirror, onto me. Her silent scream rang in my ears even as I jolted awake. I clutched my throat, my breath coming in shallow gasps. The mirror's reflection was normal again, but I knew what I had seen. Desperate for answers, I researched the mirror's origins. It had belonged to a reclusive man named Victor LaRue, a collector of rare artifacts, and a suspected murderer. All his victims had been found in rooms where the mirror had once stood, their eyes wide with horror. But buried in an old record, I found something chilling. LaRue himself had never been caught, because he had never been seen. Witness accounts described different men, different faces. It was as if the killer changed bodies. I wasn't just seeing visions of the past, I was becoming the next host. Remember, even the smallest flame can push back the darkness. I tried to resist, but the mirror dug deeper into my soul. I felt its hunger. It wasn't just cursed, it was alive, a vessel for something ancient, something that fed on darkness. Then I found it, a yellowed paper, crumpled and wedged behind the mirror's frame. A desperate scrawl. "I was never the first. I will not be the last." The mirror does not show you the killer, it makes you one. It was signed, Victor LaRue. I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, the visions took over. I could feel the pleasure of the hunt, the thrill of the kill. It wasn't someone else anymore. It was me. And then I saw her, the old woman, the one who sold me the mirror. In the vision, she stood in her shop, her back to me. His hands clutched a knife. She turned, her eyes filled with something unreadable. "You think you're the first?" she whispered. I woke up, my sheets soaked in sweat. My hands trembled. They were covered in blood. I rushed back to the shop at dawn. The door was unlocked. The bell jingled softly as I stepped inside. She was dead. The police hadn't arrived yet. I stood frozen, staring at her lifeless body sprawled on the floor. The knife, the same one from my vision, lay beside her. My stomach twisted. Had I done this? Had he done this through me? Her warning echoed in my head. Had she been trying to stop the cycle, or had she been part of it? Had she been another host, just like LaRue? Had I killed her? Or had the mirror forced someone else to do it to silence her? I had to get rid of it. Fire couldn't destroy it. The hammer had failed. It was too late for me. But maybe it wasn't too late for someone else. I listed the mirror on an exclusive auction site, the kind you all know so well. An anonymous bidder bought it within minutes. I shipped it without a second thought. Days passed. Weeks. I told myself it was over. The curse was someone else's problem now. My hands were clean. But last night, In a shop window, I saw my reflection. It wasn't me. Don't forget, Night Ember is here to keep your fire burning.